So, how is old school RuneScape still popular? This is uploaded by someone called the Spilt Milk Show. He's only got 512 subs, but it's 40k views, so and 1.2k likes, which tells me it's probably worth watching. And I think, without further ado, being the key word, if you guys can just do a quick volume check and let me know whether it's too loud or not loud enough, I can adjust it and see how this video goes.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Sorry, I was just trying to make some room in my bank over here. Oh, you don't know what game I'm referencing? Okay, yeah. No, you can't sit with us. How you going? Welcome back to the Spilt Milk Show. Do you remember RuneScape? The countless hours spent getting a skill to 99, spending time at the Grand Exchange, or even just remembering your older siblings always being better than you at it? Well, it's still around, and more popular than its newer and updated version.
That's actually a sign of a good game though, right? A good reboot. The old school RuneScape is better than RuneScape 3, and it didn't actually take long for RuneScape 3 to fall behind old school RuneScape. It was almost pretty much straight away, and it's been a consistent trend. And yeah, I still do think to myself sometimes, how the fuck is this game still popular? But I think this is like the 4th or 5th biggest MMO RPG game on the internet right now. I could be wrong in saying that, but I think it's more popular, or it's close to being as popular as WoW, not including Classic WoW, just WoW individually, I think, up until at least Dragonflight came out. RS3 is just WoW RuneScape style. No, I'd say RS3 is more like Diablo than WoW. At least it was when ESC first came out. It probably is a little bit more like WoW now, but you still have to click to move. It's not WASD. Unless you're referring to the graphics, then that's just because it looks nicer, or at least not RuneScape-ish. So, yeah, but I mean, I've been playing RuneScape since, the date keeps changing, somewhere around 2002, 2003. And I think it was still, it was better than RuneScape 3 is now, for sure. But I just can't get into RuneScape 3 as much as I would have wanted to. Then old school RuneScape's obviously that fucking good.
Well, this is how is old school RuneScape still popular. So back in the day, when I started playing it, it was just RuneScape. When you talked about it, everybody knew what the reference was, because there was only one game. It was the game you would be so excited to go home and play after
Does the sound okay, by the way?
The game that you would stay up late till 3 in the morning grinding a skill. It truly gave you a magical feeling getting to the login screen and hearing the login music about to start up. An unforgettable moment in your life. But technically, what is the game? RuneScape is an
Oh, no, I'm not even going to fucking touch it. That's just
that was released by Jagex on January 4th.
That login screen was fucking tripping me out. Did anyone else see that? Were you able to do that back in the day? What this cunt's doing? You used to be able to do that, right? Cycle through the... Can you still do that? How's the arrow king through the login screen? I'm pretty sure you used to be able to do that back on the original RuneScape. That fucking tripped me out, but I don't fucking know. I feel like I remember that being a thing. You can't do it today, I'm pretty sure. Shit, maybe you can. I don't fucking know. Nah, you can't. I'm pretty sure you used to be able to do that, though, for sure. That's fucking... That trips me the fuck out, dude.
Hearing the login music about to start up. An unforgettable moment in your life. But technically, what is the game? RuneScape is an MMORPG that was released by Jagex on January 4th, 2001. A staple in most people's childhood, it ranged from a variety of different things you could do in the game. You could get your cooking skill up to 99, go on quests, find rainbow boots in a dangerous maze, or even just...
Pro tip, fun fact, popular opinion, I was always fighter boots. I never went with rainbow boots, because I thought rainbow boots were gay. I think fighter boots are Chad because they had a spike on it, and I just wanted to kick people with a spike on the end of the boot. It's a fun fact, and I stand by that statement forever. It's true.
Just PK some noobs. The game was liked so much because of countless reasons. But one that I found to be especially true is the fact that essentially anyone could play the game. Now of course this applies to any game, but the fact that someone who knew nothing about the game, walking around, picking up bones, and slaying level 2 goblins could have just as much fun as someone who is grinding as...
You want to know something else about the old school, or like the old days of RuneScape? I had no idea how to get cancelled in less than 30 seconds via King Condor. Twitch might have a problem with me saying the word gay, but YouTube absolutely does not. So I won't get cancelled, I'm good. I never knew how to train prayer when I was a kid, in like 2004, 2005. I had no clue how I trained prayer. I had like level 12 prayer, because I did the Restless Ghost, and then I was bearing bones, but I didn't realize it was training my prayer, because you never used to get the XP drop when you did shit. It used to just go up, so you're just like... I just had no clue how to train prayer. I'd have like 40 level 50 combat stats and like level 12 prayer. I'm like, how the fuck do you level it? And then me and my brother, what we would do is we would drain our prayer and sit there praying at the altar, thinking that would level our prayer, and it just wouldn't. And we were just like, how the hell did we even get level fucking 12? Like that's a legitimate struggle I had as a kid. It was disgusting. Any clunge? Check the group bank.
skill or a cave. It made it fun for everybody. It was a game that was easy to adapt to, but hard to master. This game has been loved for so long because it's just straightforward. The graphics aren't the best, but honestly that's something I really love about the game. It really gives it a classic and OG feel, and it truly feels like the definition of a role-playing game. And in the early days of the 21st century, so many things were being consumed, whether it was video games, television, or just new advancements in technology.
That is
With
me
YouTube
as a
on
child.
the rise and video games becoming more popular, the two forms of entertainment were bound to meet. In the late 2000s, the game was really starting to take off. It had people like Gross Gore as an early adopter to making videos for the game. In fact,
Isn't Gross Gore like a pedophile now? Didn't that happen recently? This came out as a little groomer or something? Or was that someone else? I'm pretty sure he was. I didn't know he played RuneScape at all. I had no idea he was a RuneScape player. Interesting. I have a vague memory of it, but I was online for the Christmas cracker drop in 2001 and remember breaking some other people's hands. Or breaking some over people's heads. Oh, no, I never did that. I wasn't around for that. I missed the Christmas cracker period. Only just fucking missed it.
2008, RuneScape was named the most popular free-to-play MMORPG.
Maybe it's not
Jesus,
pedophile, maybe
they
it's something
even had
else.
their own convention held in 2010 called RuneFest. RuneFest is exactly what it sounds like, an in-person event that is RuneScape themed. Kinda like Comic-Con, but RuneScape. They have had one every year annually since 2010, excluding 2012 and, of course, 2020 due to COVID. Now, RuneScape also holds
They didn't have one last year, did they? In 2021? And they didn't have one in 2022 either, hey? They haven't been... Or did they do one this year? I don't think they did. I think they've just been doing it all online lately, because the UK has been pretty fucking cooked, eh? Rainbow boots for sissies? Yes, they are. Pretty sure they haven't done a proper RuneFest for a while. I don't know if I'd go. I might one day, but I just don't want to be around people. People stink. Didn't have it in 2012 because the world was supposed to end. Yeah, probably. They should have a foam pit next event. I heard they go well. They should. And then just invite porn stars. That'd be awesome. Be good publicity.
For the most updated game as well. Good, right? Most people would argue yes, it's always great to update a game for the players, and I would agree. Developers should always want to make their game function, look, and play better. Whether that's making small tweaks to the combat system, updating the graphics slightly, or just adding new quests. No matter...
Small tweaks. Is that what he said? He said that, right? Let's go back and just double check.
Whether that's making small tweaks...
Small tweaks to the combat system. Not an evolution of combat. Small tweaks.
To the combat system, updating the graphics slightly, or just adding new quests. No matter what it is, the goal should be to make the game better without changing its core elements. Well, sometimes when you overdo something, it doesn't come out as good as you would have wanted it.
Yep.
Like adding too many things into a game. So many, in fact, that you might just have to scrap the old game and start from scratch.
I don't know if that's entirely true. I think a game like RuneScape, you can absolutely add as much as you want, as long as it's fun, and as long as it's good. I think, especially with old school RuneScape, we'll use that as an example because we can all relate to it. I like this guy's voice here. He has got a nice voice. We get weekly updates. You'll have people complaining there's no content. Jagex isn't giving us content. Jagex gives us an update every week. Every week we get an update, except for around the Christmas period. And even if it's not content you want, even if it's content you don't care about, it still updates. It's still working. They're still doing things behind the scenes every week, and I think that's good. I think consistent interest in the game from developers is a sign of a healthy game, and I think that you can't have too much content in a game like this, in an MMO RPG, for example, as long as it's good, which is, I know I hate to bring it up, but this is why I think it's very dangerous suggesting a skill like sailing for a new skill, which people are doing constantly. Oh, sailing would be a great skill. If it's a skill, it becomes a chore and it becomes mandatory to do if you want to max. And if people hate it, it's going to fail. But if you just add it to the game as its own separate thing, people don't have to touch it because you can still max, you can still do your Zuck helmet, and you can still enjoy aspects of the game you want without having to worry about sailing being a thing. The example I have is Koran Favor. Fucking sucks. But you need to do it if you want to get your quest cape. You need to do it if you want to get your diary cape. You need to do it if you want to do quite a lot of content. If they made it enjoyable, it wouldn't be so much of a problem. But it sucks getting your Koran Favor. Luckily, it doesn't take too long. And I think you have to be careful with what you add, not the amount that you add, just what the content specifically is. WoW players should die of joy if they had community polls and stuff. Well, the problem with WoW is that the developers don't really play the game. Or at least they haven't been playing it for a while. They've just been developing a game and then going to fucking bed, or having the CEO coming down and finger banging them if they happen to be a woman. So the beauty we have is that our developers give a shit about old school RuneScape.
On July 3rd, 2013, the official release date for RuneScape 3 was announced. They were set to release it on the 22nd of that same month. Some confusion rolled around in my head when this announcement first came out.
What's next?
Before seeing any gameplay or anything, I thought...
Next is a big bitch. Holy shit. She's a big gal.
Set to release it on the 22nd of that same month.
I've never seen her in RS3.
Confusion rolled around in my head.
She's a big boy, eh? Fuck me. She's huge. Remember when they got rid of PvP, got rid of free trade, and gave people sleeping bags to recharge run energy? Yeah, the sleeping bags was very old content. They got rid of free trade because of scams, and it was trying to prevent scamming and real trading. And as for PvP, I don't know what the logic was. I can't remember what the logic was. That may have been to do with real trading and stuff as well. I can't remember why they got rid of the wilderness, but it was the fucking dumbest thing they've ever done. What would happen if the old school team had a complete turnover in staff? I think it's not even a meme that Mod Ash is like the backbone of this game and its core stability. So I think him, Mod Kieran, and that little ginger cunt, and the other guy that makes the good. I can't remember the names of the mods, but there's another mod, the British one. They're really good, and they have really. They've created some really good content for this game. It could be... I would rather not risk that scenario at all. The crew in place right now is holding the shot. Yeah, no, we've got a very good dev team. Not entitled people, just care about the game, and a lot... Not entitled people just care about the game, and a lot were around for when the game almost died because of stupid choices the first time. Are you referring to EOC? EOC will never come back. That's not going to happen. That was the mistake. Oh, the wilderness is part of real trading as well. I was part of the era. They removed PvP as part of real trade. Okay, fair. They're all British? Well, you know. My bad. Credit card companies were done with chargebacks from the third-party websites. Yeah, they were going to like cut ties with Jagex, hey, for buying stuff if they didn't sort out their real trade system and their scamming shit. I remember that, yeah.
When this announcement first came out. Before seeing any gameplay or anything, I thought to myself, well, what is this going to be? A huge update, a branch off of RuneScape, or what? Well, obviously I'm pretty sure you know it was pretty much in its entirety a new game. Now, if you were following along with RuneScape during this time, you know the community did not take this lightly. I mean, the game was pretty much completely different. It was sort of like RuneScape.
I mean, would you think that's RuneScape if you looked at that?
It was kind of stepping into the boundaries of those sort of games, but it looked like it didn't even play or feel the same.
But you know what? At the same time, it looks good. It's just not RuneScape to me. It doesn't look like RuneScape, but I'm sure playing it, you'd get that experience. It doesn't look bad. I think that looks fucking awesome. You're telling me this doesn't look fucking
sort of like RuneScape
like appealing?
And World of Warcraft. Well, it was.
I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but it looks good.
Kind of stepping into the boundaries of those sort of games, but it looked like
no fucking way am I playing it. Not anytime soon. I'm too addicted to old school.
It was almost like the thought process on it was newer is better. With Jagex seeing a decline in their player base and negative response.
It was RuneScape 3 before old school RuneScape though.
Gerard, the CEO of Jagex, officially announced a poll for the creation of old school RuneScape in a RuneScape news article. This was a very smart move in my opinion. The company at least gave players the choice to play the older version rather than just leaving them with this foreign game. Now, Jagex did feel like they'd changed a lot about the game, so they could use the backup archives to create a separate game from RuneScape 3. And in just 2 weeks, the poll reached enough votes for Old School RuneScape to be released. Old School RuneScape was released on February 22nd, 2013, and then 5 months later, RuneScape 3 was released on July 22nd.
Turn it up, you fat. Do you want me to turn it up, or are you just being a dickhead? Because I'll ban you right now. No one else is complaining about the fucking volume. And I don't want to upload this in like a day's time and then have comment sections of people going, the volume's not good enough, it's not loud enough, you should re-upload it, and then I've got to go and grab them by the fucking dick hole and stick a red hot needle fucking down it. You can hear it fine? Nick? It's kind of low volume? Have you considered turning your fucking end up? A little quiet? You don't... You are loud, it's a bit small. I know I'm loud. I know I'm loud. That's just because I'm a big boy and that's how my mic is. I do apologize, but can you hear the video? You know what's going on. Also, while we're on this subject and I've paused, with Old School RuneScape, he's probably going to mention it, but I remember when they released it, Jagex actually didn't have faith that this game would take off. That's why you have quite a few old issues with this game that they're fixing, such as... I don't know if anyone remembers, but you know this Slayer cave over here in the gnome place? What the fuck? Okay, you guys know this Slayer cave here where Neve is? Where you enter there and then you've got this dungeon? This used to be like 10 times the size. This used to have the Kraken in it, used to have gargoyles, black dragons, used to have everything. It even had a cow fight dungeon in there. It had everything. Let me pull up a map for you real quick. Was it Neve Slayer Dungeon? I think it was like incredibly big. Here you go. This is what it used to look like back at the start of Old School RuneScape when they first introduced it. It looks blurry as fuck, but that's how big the dungeon was. You know, it was fucking massive. Then you had the Smoke Devil area as well with Thermonuclear Smoke Devil. This was... I can't see what's back there. Probably just normal dragons. This is like iron and steel dragons. You had gargoyles down here, abyssal demons, krakens, kraken boss, cow fight. You had a massive dungeon for Slayer, and it was awesome. Anything that was assigned to you was pretty much in that dungeon. Yeah, Canelo did a huge video on it. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, I remember that dungeon. It was the best. And when they got rid of it, so many people were like pissed at the start. But that's why they split it up. So now you have like the Chasm of Fire. You have the downstairs in the Slayer Tower. You have the Cowfight Cave. What else do you have? You have... I think it was before the Catacombs of Koren came out. No, it was after the Catacombs of Koren came out. You got a bunch of other caves. Any other like unique cave like that, that's where they all moved to. Like the Kraken Cave, for example, and the Thermonuclear or the Smoke Devil area, they got all split up across the map as well, instead of having just one fucking broken cave. But that shit was fucking amazing, man. It was such a good cave. It was busted. It wasn't good for the game, but it was amazing. Going there to kill gargoyles is awesome. Under Edgeville? No, that doesn't count. Unidentified herbs? Oh, yuck, yeah, perfect scam. I remember walking through Hellhounds and seeing a pile of some fuck faces loot on the floor. Classic. Free whip, D-chain, D-legs, Fury, and Obby Cape. Yep, not anymore. You can't get into WoW either. Or you can't get into RS3 or WoW. Yeah, that's okay. It's not for everyone. Oldschool RuneScape is a different kind of game. It's for a different kind of gamer, to be honest.
So I know what you're probably thinking. Okay, cool. Both versions of the game have been released. The diehards will have their classic game, and everyone else will play the newer one. I mean, why wouldn't they, right? A newer, updated, polished version of the game sounds like the way
This
to
doesn't
go.
look bad.
Well, I am here to inform
It's
you
not
to
RuneScape
tell you
to me.
that you're wrong. See, myself and many other people checked out RuneScape 3 to see if it was any better. I'm not gonna lie, I logged on, played the tutorial. Now, not only was there no, but I wasn't a fan of the graphics, and the game just didn't really give me a reason to keep playing. So, I logged off. Honestly, I didn't give the game a fair chance, but frankly, I didn't want to.
The combat system
I
was
just
very
felt the
confusing
game
for me.
didn't hold true to the original version. I kinda see what they were trying to do, and they did some parts well, but as far as keeping the basic mechanics, look, feel, and just overall gameplay, they didn't do too hot in that area. Many people were disappointed by the game. Many other people felt the same way. In fact, so much that Oldschool RuneScape pulls about an average of 70,000 to 130,000 players daily, whereas RuneScape 3 pulls only 20,000
That's
to
a
50,000.
fucking massive
That's
drop.
less than
That's like 50k. At the minimum of both. It's a 50k difference. That's fucking disgusting. That's really bad, considering RS3 was at once their flagship game for Jagex. What type of game do you think OSRS is for? I think the severely autistic and unhinged gamer. People who are really good at timing, but not really good at time. Magic is just 25 little attack options that are constantly cooling down and activating. Yeah, it was hard to do the combat. It was hard to like figure out what I wanted, because obviously there's a meta, and I don't like following metas, because I like to just kind of do my own thing and figure things out for myself. And I was just like, no, this is too much. And then you got legacy mode in RS3, which basically takes you back to the like old school RuneScape mechanics, where it's just left click and you hit and that's it. But like you just fall off in PVM and DPS wise. You can't keep up with end game content in legacy mode. You have to use the mechanics and the combat system. I think if you invest enough time to RS3, it really can pay off and be really fun. But you're not playing the same game as old school RuneScape, and that's why you have that divide of old school RuneScape is better and RS3 is shit. Because like old school RuneScape is a better game, but that's not to say that RS3 is a terrible game. They've definitely made big improvements to it over the past couple years.
Half the amount old school RuneScape gets. To be fair, there are probably a shit ton of bots in that, but still. With RuneScape being around for so long and reaching 21 plus years in age, it's amazing that it's prevailed and stayed relevant for so long. And with the older versions staying more popular, it makes it even more impressive. So I thought to myself, how has this game managed to stay so relevant and popular over its updated, polished version? Well, I went to Google looking for answers. In this post, this Reddit user had this to say. Jagex thought they will make the game more popular by making it the same as a typical MMORPG on the market. By doing that, they decided to directly compete with games such as World of Warcraft and Lost.
Yep, that's pretty much it. It was just the idea that the RuneScape 2 pre-EOC was out of date. It wasn't up to par with other MMORPG games. It wasn't like playing Diablo or WoW or Final Fantasy 14 wasn't out then, but playing what other games were out then? Oblivion or whatever it is, Elder Scrolls, things like that. It just doesn't compete. Like who the fuck wants to left click and move around? But that's what makes RuneScape so unique as well, right? The fact that it's different. It's weird as RS3 is popping off at the school I work at. When I was at school, they gave us laptops for some reason. I don't know why. It was a terrible mistake on their half. We couldn't log into old school RuneScape servers, but we could log into RS3 at school. So that, I don't know if that has anything to do with it. If there's some sort of proxy or whatever that they have to stop you from getting to old school RuneScape, that's why they go RS3. But that's why we had RS3 at our school, because they wouldn't let us log into old school RuneScape. The old RuneScape was a unique game that I used used to from when I was a child. That was English, 100%. That's my fucking game there.
I couldn't agree with this more. By breaking away from the simplicity of the original version, Jagex had to compete with companies that have been making these games for a long time.
Yep.
Why play a game that's kinda like WoW when I could just play WoW? Now, I'm not saying both of these games are completely the same, but they're heavily in the same category. Another Reddit user also said this: "Personally, I think old school RuneScape content creators are way more interesting with their videos. There also seems to be way more account styles, area locked, pures, and more story driven videos. Watching it is more easy since everything on the UI is nicer and big. Keep in mind, this is just me as a viewer. I play RuneScape, but I also enjoy watching old school RuneScape much more. Just my ideas. Also, there's a shit ton more bots in old school RuneScape as well."
That's a good point. I haven't really watched much RS3 content though, so I can't really say much on it, but that's also because I haven't really heard or seen any RS3 content around. Old school RuneScape content creation definitely has a very big community, and it's definitely a very creative community, and it's getting a lot of attention on the outside of old school RuneScape too, like on other communities, mostly due to like settled and stuff. It's really popping off out there. I don't really know what's happening with RuneScape 3. Does anyone here watch any RuneScape 3 content at all? I don't have a clue. I know that Alkin used to make a few videos on it, but that's about it. The only person I know who plays RS3 is Sick Nerd, but I don't know the rest. Yeah, you know, that's it. There was a comment here. I wanted the conspiracy theory. Jagex makes bots too. Jagex doesn't make bots, but Jagex lets bots chill. Like they won't just ban a single bot unless they're like, unless it's like super fucking obvious. Like they'll just leave bot farms running and then do like waves of banning, because to be fair, botting is a pretty big part of the economy, and it's the same reason that Twitch didn't ban gambling on their platform for however long. I think it's still not banned on there. You can still do slots, because a higher number means the analytics look good, which means the website looks good. If you got more players on Old School RuneScape, it looks good. The company is worth more. The game's worth more. There's more value in Old School RuneScape because there's a higher active player count, right? So why would you ban 30,000 bots when what they're doing is putting fire runes on the Grand Exchange so that you have fire runes, you have magic logs whenever you need them, you have feathers. Whenever you need feathers, you're guaranteed to buy the max limit pretty much straight away on the Grand Exchange. Same thing for herbs, vials of water, you name it. If you want it, Zora scales, fucking dragon bones, they are on the Grand Exchange all the time, ready to buy and ready to sell. Getting rid of the bots really would probably just hurt the game, to be honest with you. Gambling is just an addiction. You don't see people banning alcohol. What's that got to do with Old School RuneScape? I took a break from osrs like 3 years and still watch osrs YouTube videos. That's also true. A lot of people do that. They'll stop playing the game but still watch. Hanani is the best RS3 content creator. She won the award anyways. That's true. She did. Then she came to Old School RuneScape and won it here too.
So it seems to me that
The bots
this
do pay
user
for membership,
actually
true.
plays RuneScape 3, but enjoys watching people play old school RuneScape way more, which is interesting. But I do agree with the user that old school RuneScape players do make much more captivating and interesting videos. But yeah, to reiterate, there are a shit ton of bots in old school. But of all of the Reddit comments, I think this one sums it up the best. The majority of RuneScape 3 players are pretty satisfied with most things, but people tend to get more vocal about things which upset them than things which don't. That, and the fact that a lot of old school RuneScape players are kind of people who generally just dislike the way RuneScape 3 went, and for some reason seem to need to tell us that regularly.
Where does this... I wonder where he's getting these Reddit comments, because these like comments that he's finding have an IQ level much higher than the average Reddit user. This is incredible. It's very true. A lot of RS3 players don't give 2/3 of a shit and just enjoy the game, and then are like, why are you constantly saying RuneScape 3 is shit? Because I'll say RuneScape 3 is dog shit in Rune News, right? Which, for those who haven't checked out, you should be checking out Rune News. and then I'll make it into a short, and then I'll upload the short to TikTok, to YouTube, and to Instagram. And there'll be people like, you're an asshole. What's wrong with RuneScape 3? Fuck you. I'm just like, well, one, it's a joke, but two, like, calm down. It's obviously a joke, and they're getting that fucking mad over it. Actually, players just want to play the game. They don't want to be bothered. But Oldschool RuneScape will sit there and just poke fun at them because, let's be honest, we have the better, bigger, longer lasting game. It will be longer lasting at least, and the fact that we just overtook RS3 and it was so successful. I mean, we have bragging rights, don't we? You got to shit on them just to prevent anything ESC related. We'll never get ESC. That's not going to happen. That's the point of the game.
Now, this pretty much puts it into perspective. You can see that most RuneScape 3 players are satisfied.
Most people who don't like RS3 don't even play it.
You wouldn't play it if you weren't. But here you can also see that most RuneScape 3 players feel annoyed that old school players feel like they have to constantly remind them that the game they play sucks. Hence the purpose of the video. Just kidding, but honestly kinda true. Now,
That's
going
funny.
back to the number of players in both games, it's quite interesting to see the vast difference between the two games. You can look at these stats from MMO populations and see that not only does Old School RuneScape pull more than double the amount of daily and total players, but it also ranks way higher on terms of aggregate servers. Once again, you have to take into consideration of bots. Not only on Old School, but...
what you're looking at here, for those who don't know what these graphs mean or how they work, that is the sign of a game that has bots. When you look at an MMO RPG game, and it is linear... is that the right word? When it's flat. When you have a flat line for that long, that means there's a lot of botting. If you go look at Steam and you go to like Lost Ark, they will just have a flat fucking line of like 300,000 players daily, non-stop. A healthy or non-bot infested MMORPG will look more like that. Usually more just wavy up and down, which I don't know where this website gets its sources from, because I'm pretty sure both these charts are inaccurate based on the numbers that I've seen. But I guess it depends what it's measuring. This is measuring daily players, I guess. Yeah, a healthy or at least a successful MMO should usually look like this, where it's just up and down. It always goes up. This is where content is released, and then this is after the content's released and the hype dies off again, and so on. So that's all it is. It's just content being released, hype dies off. Content being released, dying off, more content, it's holding, it dies off. Content being released, dies off, more content again. Oldschool RuneScape, just bots. That's really it, to be honest. That's why there's no up and down. Otherwise it would be up and down all the time.
In total players, but
it's over a month and not a year,
way
yes.
higher on terms of aggregate servers. Once again, you have to take into consideration of bots, not only on Old School, but also on RuneScape 3. Factoring in the bots on both, I am sure that Old School exceeds its counterpart tremendously still. So what I am getting
there's still more players in Oldschool RuneScape,
I don't think
even
anyone thinks RuneScape 3 is the worst game ever. I just think it maybe wasn't needed. It's like the saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Sometimes when you try to fix something that doesn't need to be fixed, you just end up fucking up things further. What I think they should have done is completed the HD version of Old School and have the players be able to choose which graphics they wanted, which you can do now with RuneLite. They should have also focused on just making good tweaks to the game that made sense instead of just hitting the reset button. I truly think they could have made their game so much better and not have made players pick between the two games.
I think RS3 makes Jagex quite a bit of money because they have a lot of microtransactions and some whales spend some big money in there. So I don't think it's doing that badly for the company. The problem with that we have with Old School RuneScape, I mean, this is for now with the HD problem. Back then, I mean, I think they made the right move making Old School RuneScape a thing. And we've got a problem right now with HD because we have obviously this HD client on RuneLite, which you guys have heard me talk about numerous times. 117. I don't use it because it's a fucking liability PVM wise, late in like the Gauntlet and the Inferno and Theatre of Blood and TOA, so I'd rather not, or in Cox, I'd rather not get fucked because I want the game to look a little smoother. A lot of people were kicking up a fuss because Jagex and the Old School team weren't working on a HD variant for Old School RuneScape or any HD graphics until recently, and then start shitting on them because it doesn't look as good. Why didn't they just hire 117 and so on? 117's abandoned the project now. I'm pretty sure someone else has taken over. But it's because no one wanted HD. No one wanted HD graphics when Oldschool RuneScape came out. Not a single person was like, yeah, we want RS3 graphics, or we want high definition graphics with Oldschool RuneScape. You wanted to keep it old school because if it wasn't looking like it does now, if it didn't look like this, then they were moving towards RS3 and the game was going to die. That was legitimately the way Oldschool RuneScape was for like the first 8 years of its existence. Or the first, about 7, 8 years of its existence. And then, as RuneLite came out, and as third-party clients were coming out, and then as HD projects were being worked on, people were like, oh, maybe HD isn't a bad idea now. So now, the community wants HD. Everyone wants the 117 client or whatever. And then they're like, Jagex, why the fuck don't we have HD? Now Jagex has to play catch-up with the community. When people have been working on something for 2 years, why hasn't Jagex been doing it? Because you guys have been fucking asking for it. Everyone's been saying don't do it. Now everyone wants it, and they're expecting it within like 3 months. So this is like the problem with Oldschool RuneScape that they've been having lately. My brother hates the HD plugin. I don't give a fuck about your brother, dude. Shit, for the longest time, it was more a 3-hit combat system before you could even move. That's also true. They always play catch-up. Well, they have to when the community makes so much like innovative like projects. When now that all the plugins are a thing, they've had to play catch-up. That's why they are where they are now. And they just do it without complaining. Just give us more. Yeah, it's just... I think the old school team is doing the best they can with what they've got. And I think they do a pretty fucking good job at it. That's not nice. He's a great guy. Well, he's not in the chat, so fuck him.
I am happy of the state that Oldschool RuneScape is in.
Forestry
They
looks
continue
good.
to update the game while keeping everything how everyone likes it. The bots are definitely still a problem that I know that they're trying to deal with, but maybe
Nah,
could try
I don't
a
think
little
bots
bit
are a
harder,
problem.
but what do
No.
I know? I don't know anything about trying to
Bots
get
are
rid
fine.
of bots on an online video game. So, all in all, I think
Most
Oldschool
bots are fine.
RuneScape is just the more popular one.
Yep.
And maybe Jagex should stick to their roots of what got them there in the first place. Also, please don't fucking crucify me in the comments if I got anything wrong. I'm just a casual that likes to play RuneScape. I play it to chill out, or just roast me if you want. I can't stop you. But thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, I greatly appreciate you. And if you could leave a like, comment, and maybe even subscribe, that would help me out tremendously. And I had a great time making this video, and I can't wait till the next one. Until then, peace out.
That was pretty good. I'm actually going to give him a like and a sub, and I'm also going to drop his link here in the chat. Guys, if you are interested, like the video, yep, go ahead and leave a like and a sub if you did enjoy the video. Leave a comment, say something nice about it, and or don't if you don't give a shit. But that was actually really enjoyable, and I agree with most of the things he said, or at least I acknowledge most of what he said. He did a good job, and I mean, this video popped off for him. He's only got 500 subs, and he's got 40k fucking views, so that's not bad. Pretty well made video. I really enjoyed the editing. No complaints on me. I hope you guys did enjoy that video. That's where I'm going to wrap up the reaction content for today. Your good vibe? Yeah, 100%. Feel free to go by and drop a sub and just, let me know what's up. I'll re-upload it later too and direct people to that video as well so everyone can have a chance to go and give him some support. Definitely deserves it. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge. You got a big boy.